Now, we will sit in a suitable location and we will read about Horatius, ablative, and I'm going to rename this so I use the same case, and this is called an appositive. A strong and noble man in respects to kind birth. So that's an ablative of respect. If this story is not known to you, and is kind of implied, it's not written there, it will delight you. You yourself, and this is an imperative, read the same, referring to the story, dative, to your small sisters and brothers, if you have sisters and brothers, who will sit around you, and they will listen with great eagerness. Notice this with an ablative of manner. The adjective is outside of the preposition. The Tarquins, subject of the sentence, and we have to go here for a participle, were driven out, and this is from Pello, it's a perfect passive participle agreeing with Tarquins. The Tarquins, driven out by the Romans, ablative of agent, it's who's doing the driving out, they sought help from Porsenna, and we're going to have a positive renaming Porsenna, and this will agree with it in case, king of the Etruscans, genitive. And so Porsenna himself, and remember this is ipse, that intensive, himself, with many soldiers, ablative of accompaniment, came to Rome. The Romans, uncertain, these agree, about the common health, the common safety, they were scared because the power of the Etruscans was great, and the name of Porsenna was, I'm going to use this verb again, was great. And notice those are nominative on both sides. This is nominative neuter because it agrees with nomen. The Romans, who, relative clause modifying Romans, who cultivated, tilled the fields, and this would be a subject of the relative clause, departed, migrated into the town. They closed the gates and they defended the town itself. Again, another intensive. The town itself with guards. Ablative of means, how they defended the town. Part of the city, genitive, was fortified by the river Tiber. So this is an ablative agent, and if you're not a person or an animal and you're an ablative agent, you don't need the a or the ob. A wooden bridge, and notice this word here means wooden, was giving a route, a journey, a pathway, dative to the enemy. Verb of giving, showing, telling usually takes a dative, but an outstanding man prohibited it. And I'm going to use it in a positive. So this is going to rename this outstanding man and give more information about him. Horatius Cocculus, which is one-eyed Horatius. So an outstanding man prohibited. Horatius Cocculus. And then I've got a PPP that will agree back to Horatius Cocculus. He was called by that cognomen, or by that nickname, because he had lost an eye in battle. He, and then we'll go to this, he alone, and then there's an ablative absolute right in the middle, ablative absolute, with the farthest part of the bridge having been occupied, PPP, cut off, intercepted the soldiers of the enemy, genitive, without aid. and he endured, he carried on, he lived. And he ordered the Romans who were fleeing to break the bridge. This very boldness, again intensifies this, terrified the enemies. So this man is stopping the enemies all by himself. He's running across the bridge and he's taking on the whole army. He turns around and he tells the Romans to break the bridge, leaving just him and the enemies to fight. So it's him against the whole Etruscan army. And then next sentence starts off with an ablative absolute. With the bridge having been broken, Horatius did not hesitate, but he jumped head first into the... so he impeded... Oh, I missed this guy. He impeded PPP by arms, jumped head first into the Tiber. So Horatius, with the bridge having been broken, Horatius did not hesitate, but he, having been impeded by weapons, jumped head first into the Tiber. And he swam across untouched, so he untouched, fresh hole, swam across through many spears to the Romans. So by, this is a weird thing, because this is going to be genitive, by his virtue. So by his virtue, the town, this is an ablative agent, this is what's going to save the town. The town was not captured by assault, and the power of Porsenna was broken. The state, his state, and this is our subject, genitive, his state was pleased, referring back to this state, on account of this famous deed. Many fields were publicly, this is an adverb, were publicly given to him, dated from Isaid, to him, which, referring to the fields, which he tilled, cultivated to the end of life. The Romans always will remember, and literally will hold into memory, the Romans will always remember this example put forth, this example of virtue put forth by this man, ablative agent.